What's going on, my friends? I'm Rolando, the Board Dad. Welcome back to the channel. Boy, do I have a treat for you today. Look at this beauty on the table. If you don't know what it is already, I'm going to be doing a solo playthrough of Obsession. Obsession is a fantastic game, and I'm understating it when I say fantastic. Designed by Dan Hallagan, published by Kayenta Games. It's a 1 to 4 player game, and if you haven't heard about Obsession, where have you been, first of all? But now you have, and hopefully you can get an idea of how the game plays, and you will be as, I know this is going to sound corny, but as obsessed as everyone else is when they play this game. So here it is, all set up, ready to go for a solo playthrough. In this game, it's set in Victorian times, and okay, I gotta address the elephant in the room. If you've seen Downton Abbey, then you know what the theme is all about. You are, a high-class family living in this, awesome estate, and you're trying to, court people and gain their favors, and the main thing you're trying to do in this game is trying to get these two lovely individuals over here, the Fairchilds, to come over to your place and dine and wine, and they will give you some great bonuses. Your prestige will go up, and you'll be able to invite some better guests over to your place. We're going to be building out our estate here with different rooms that will allow us to host different activities and just be, I guess, like the Kardashians, right? I shouldn't have said that. All right, let's get started. Let me show you a little bit of what's going on here, and then we'll get right into it. The game plays in 16 rounds. Now there is a longer version on the reverse side of this board, but we're going to play this one. It's 16 rounds divided into 4 seasons. So these purple spots are the seasons. There's 3 rounds per season, and there's a courtship round in between each season, and I'll explain what that does. Over here we have our player board, and the base game comes with 4 families. I'm going to be playing as the Asquith family. They are all the same except for a bonus. Each family, well, I guess that means they're not all the same, right? Each family has a family bonus. My family bonus is I start with 5 family members instead of 4, and then we also add 2 what they call casual guests here, and so we're going to start with 2, 4, 5, 7 cards instead of the usual 6. Down here we're going to be building out different buildings divided into 5 different categories. For example, the essentials category is usually what you will use to host different activities that bring a lot of guests in. We have the butler's room, which is that's the building itself. We have the service category here, which you'll use to hire more staff, which is on here on this side. We have the estate category, which will usually allow you to get more cards into your hand. And these cards will have, so some basic casual guests, which have the single, I forget what that's called. I'm just going to call it a spade. I know it's not a spade, but that's what I'm going to call it. And then there's very, prestigious guests, which have the double symbol there. So you usually will get those cards by hosting activities with this category. Then there's the prestige category, which will allow you to gain prestige. And there's this little prestige track here on the player board, and every time you gain one, which is what this little lion symbol represents, you will move this marker around, and when it crosses the number 5 around this clockwise track, you will increase your reputation by 1, and that's what these little markers are. You can also lose prestige and therefore lose reputation as well, so keep that in mind. And then we have the sporting category here, and that I think all the time is hosting activities that will earn you money. Of course, what is an estate with no staff and this is not one of them. We have a starting staff here of a butler, a housemaid, a footman, a valet, and a lady's maid. And this staff you'll need in order to attend to the needs of certain guests. For example, this guest down here requires a valet to attend to him. This lady here requires a lady's maid to attend to her. So that's what the staff is. And they will move on this track here. Whenever they are used after an event, they go here to the expended service, but they will move over as the game goes on and will become available again. And of course, there is this pool of staff here that you can hire so that you can attend to more guests at the same time. The only different one that you don't start with is an under butler. It's this little black one right here. The under butler is a great staff member to have because he can substitute for any of the male servants. So the under butler can be a butler, it can be a footman, and it can be a valet. So he's a very valuable one, but in order to get him, you need to have the appropriate room in your estate. And so that takes us over to the builder's market here. Every round near the end of our turn, we're going to have the ability to buy from this market, and the prices are printed right above each room. And there's also a modifier on the upper right hand corner of each room, which we'll have to either add or subtract to the base value in order to purchase it. We can only purchase one room per round, and there is one exception to that, and I'll mention that in a second. These are objective cards. We start with 5 of them, and we will gain and lose some throughout the game. Again, these are the guests, these are the prestigious guests, these are the casual guests. And as the game progresses too, we're going to be moving some tiles over here, which will clear the way so that we can get more tiles out of this nice purple bag throughout the game, so we have more options. Some of the objectives require specific rooms to be built in your estate, so we are going to try and cycle the builder's market as much as we can. Now, each guest card has certain information on it, and we'll just go through it real quick. Over here on the upper left, this is the reputation level you need to be at, which is right here, in order to invite this guest to an activity. In a similar way, each room has a reputation value on it on the lower left. For example, these are all 1s. This one here is a 2. So in order to host an activity in that room, I need to increase my reputation to 2. I can buy it at any time and put it in my board here, or my estate, and but I cannot host an activity until I'm up to that reputation level. Okay, over here on the right is the number of victory points we will have if this card is still in our deck. This is some flavor text, which is kind of cool to read. This is again the type of servant that this guest will require when he arrives. And then over here on the right is the benefit or the favor we will gain when he comes to our activities. And as you can see here, it's not all good because, for example, this one, if she's still in my hand at the end of the game, I will score -3 points. But she does give me 400 coins every time she's invited to an activity. But she is she's probably like a gossiper or something. She's not a very nice person if she's giving me -3 points. And she will also reduce my reputation or my prestige by 2. So I would have to lose on this little track here. Okay, so hopefully I'm not going too fast. I'm trying to go fast, but hopefully I haven't lost you yet. That pretty much covers the overview of the game. Again, I'll explain more in detail as we go through each round. The solo bot here is very, very simple to run. There's a whole bunch of different difficulty levels. I'm playing with Eden, which is an intermediate. And what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to beat this score, which is 95. The only thing the bot will do is roll this die, and depending on the roll, he will get rid of different buildings here on the builder's market, which a lot of times, I don't know how they do this, but a lot of times it's the one room that you're going after. And then this little chart here will be used during the courtship rounds, and I'll explain that as I go along. All right, so pretty much I'm going to take my entire turn, then the bot will take its turn, and then we will move to the next round until we've completed 3, completes the season, go to courtship, play another 3, etc., etc. Now on this track, there's different events that will trigger on certain rounds, and the first one we're going to watch out for is a village fair. The village fair, the only thing it does is if you're able to use this private study here and flip it, then when there's a village fair, which there's 2 of them in this in the short game, in round 3 and in round 9, then I will gain some some good bonuses, and I'll explain how you flip these as well. At the end of the game, you're going to score victory points based on the victory points printed in each room in your estate. Now there are some negative points, that's why you want to try and flip these before the end of the game. So you're going to add up all the victory points on the buildings in your estate. You're going to add up all the victory points on your gentry cards. So these are all called gentry. So if something says, for example here, 2 gentry, it means anybody, right? Some of them are specific, like ladies, and here butler, here family. On top of that, you are going to get points for the level of reputation that you've achieved. You're going to get points for the number of staff you have. Also, your wealth will give you some points. We're going to, throughout the game, also gain these VP cards, which will give us some points, and the points on the objectives. So that's how we're going to reach, hopefully, more than 95 points. Now, the bot will gain VP cards during the game, and we'll just stack them here face down, and we're going to have to add that to its score at the end. All right, I think that should be enough to get us started. So let's go right ahead and start. By the way, I want to give a shout out to Game Tamer USA for this awesome card stand that I've been using on several games. The only thing I've done here is I've propped it up so that you get a little better camera angle when you see the cards. And any cards that I play, I'm going to try to lay them out here, and hopefully you can see them, and we'll see how that works. All right, so for the first round, the way this works is the order of play. First thing you do on your turn is you rotate service. So if there's any servants on any of these boxes here, the expended service or the servants' quarters, you're just going to slide them 1 box over. In the first round, all the servants are available. So we skip that. Second is, it says round track, monuments, and servants' hall. This is just a reminder. There are some buildings in your estate eventually that will garner you a benefit or a favor every round, and that's just a reminder to do that, and also to move the round tracker. Now the third thing that I have to do is I have to choose an activity to host. This is where the game begins. So at the beginning of the game, I have 5 different choices. I can either do village fair planning, I can hire a servant, I can do afternoon tea, whist, and bowls. The requirement for each activity is printed right on it, so I have to make sure that I have the right servant in order to host the activity. If I don't have it, I can't host it. And the benefit is printed in white on the tiles here. So I start with no money. I think what I am going to do is go ahead and host this bowl in the bowling greens. And so what I do is I put it up here, and then I immediately take my footman to host it. There we go. And now the activity requires 2 gentry. So I have to go over here, and again, gentry means anybody. So I can choose which one I want, and if I am looking for money so that I can buy stuff, I think I'm going to invite Miss Gossip over here, because she will give me 400 coins, and she will lose me 2 reputation, but I have nothing to lose because I'm at the bottom here. So that's a good one to play right now at the beginning. And then I am going to play this guy. Okay. So let's see, Mr. What's his name? Sir William Hawke. Sir William Hawke. All right. Move this over a little bit so you can see it better. Hopefully you can see these cards. All right, so now she requires a lady's maid, and he requires a valet. All right, so I've actually done a few steps here. Number 3 is host activity, which I did. Number 4 is invite guests, which I just did. Number 5 is provide service, which I've provided service. And now number 6 is enjoy favors, starting with money. So in total, this will garner me 600 coins, and I will put that here. Again, lose reputation, which I have nothing to lose. So I'm happy with that. And so that's it for that step. Now number 7 is buy from the market. So I have 600 coins that I can spend. And I think the smart thing to do will probably be to get the brushing room right away because it's cheap. It's only 100 coins. So there we go. So I take this and I put it over here under the service stack or row, the service row. Now, what the brushing room allows me to do is I can now use my footman as a valet, which I couldn't do unless I first had this. Now again, I can only buy one thing, so that's it. The only time I can buy more than one if I have the money is when we get over here to the round 11, which is Builder's Holiday. So if there's good stuff out here, it would be good for me to have a lot of money that I can spend at that time. Once you buy something from the builder's market, you refill it, sliding everything to the left, and then you grab one from the bag and you lay it down. And the last step, number 8, is to clear the board. So you take the servants that you've used and you put them here in expended service, including this one. Then you bring back the building and you flip it over. Now you only flip it once, and you can tell because of the upper right hand corner here, the starting buildings have this picture of your estate there, and the backs all have a little flower icon. So if your building has a flower icon, you don't flip it again next time you use it. But as you can see, to start, this building gives you -3 points, and once you flip it, it gives you 2 points at the end of the game, but it also gives you less money. That's okay though, because we're going to try and get more buildings out here. And I've got my brushing room, which I just bought. One more thing I have to point out is in the solo game, or actually in the full game, the multiplayer game, when you get to the courtship round, there's always a theme for the season, and that's what these theme cards are up here. You can play with the theme cards face down, or you can reveal one at the beginning of each season. So what that means is when the courtship round comes around, whatever the theme color is, there's a color that corresponds to each type of room here, right? So whatever the theme ends up being, because I'm playing with it face down, or I think it's called a private theme, something like that, private courtship. I'm only going to reveal it when I get to the 4th round. And so what I'll have to do is I'll have to look at that particular color and add up the victory points for that particular color. In a multiplayer game, if you have the most points, you will get a victory point card, and you will get to choose one of the Fairchilds to come into your hand for that next season. In the solo game, I'm going to have to compare it to this chart here, right? So this will tell me how many points the AI has for that particular color or theme for that season. And if I beat it, I get what I just explained. If they win, then they get a victory point card. They don't get the Fairchilds. Unless it's the end, the last courtship, then they do, because they'll use it for final scoring. And if we tie, we both get a victory card. All right, so with that out of the way, the last thing I do in cleanup is discard my cards, and that'll go here. And now we're gonna roll for the bot. And I roll a 12. So if I look at this chart down here, if it's a monument turn, which means if there's a monument in the builder's market, and there is, then I have to do whatever it says here. For a number 12, I have to get rid of position number 2, which we go from left to right, 1 through 6. Position number 2 would be here, and that just goes away. So the bot does not count these at all. All he's doing is just removing them from the builder's market. So we'll slide that over, and we'll get another one out here. And there we go. That was the first round. All right, so now I'm just going to try and go without explaining too much. Once again, we look at order of play, and now we will rotate service, which means we move these guys over here to the servants' quarters. Now they're not available for this round yet. Only these two are available. And I guess at this point, we can look at these special actions that are here. There's 3 of them, and I can do them at any point during my turn. For 2 reputation, I can get 100 coins. For 3, I can refresh 1 servant, which means I can push 1 servant over. And for 4, I can refresh the builder's market. And the first 2 I can do as many times as I have available reputation here. So I could spend 4 to get 200 coins, for example, or I could spend 6 to refresh 2 servants. So I can do that at any time. Okay, so let's see what this next round brings. We move the round tracker over, and now I get to choose what activity I want to host. And these are my available guests here. Let's see what would fit well with my activity. If I wanted to take advantage of the village fair bonus, I would have to host this village fair planning now, so that when the round tracker moves, I can get the benefit. Now, if the theme during the courtship happens to be the essentials, I already have 3 victory points here, and so does the AI. So I wouldn't lose the courtship, but I wouldn't win it either. We would both get a victory point. Here, I would win it because I have 1 point and the AI has 0. Here I would lose it, here I would lose it, and here I would win it. So I can either ignore that right now and just kind of play my game, or I probably shouldn't ignore it, right? It's there for a reason. So let's go ahead and try to get some more reputation, okay? So I'm gonna host this activity here in the front parlor, and it requires a housemaid to be able to host it. I keep saying housemaid, I think it's housekeeper. Okay, so it requires a housekeeper, and I do have to invite 2 ladies to this activity. What would be the best one here? I have a choice between these 3. I think the Dowager is definitely a good one because she gives me reputation and also gives me money. And she does not require a servant to attend to her. And why not? Let's go ahead and get Mr. Daniel, Earl of Asquith, to join us because he also gives us some money. Okay, so I've invited guests. I don't have to provide service. Now I enjoy the favors. So starting with this one here, I do get 3 reputations. So 1, 2, 3. And this one gives me a 4th one, so that I can almost increase that over to 2. And I do get 300 coin. So I'm up to 800, which is great. Now, is there anything in the market that I can benefit from? Let me see these objectives here. The English garden is not there. The fenced paddock is there, but it's pretty expensive. Kennels and riding stables. Ah, the riding stables is there, and it's cheap. Okay, I am going to buy it. Again, it's 300 coin with a discount of 200, so it's actually only 100. That is fantastic, and that's going to go right over here. And we shall slide these over. Get one from the bag. Okay, very good. And now we clear the board, so I will discard these cards. This comes back and I flip it. Okay. And all right, that's it. So now we go with the bot. And I roll a 10. A 10, again, there is a monument out here, so I would have to get rid of position number 1, and that is great that I bought the riding stables because that would have been in position number 1. And we slide these over. Bring out another one. So now I'm keeping an eye out for the fenced paddock. Hopefully it's still there. Well, it will be there right now. I don't know if it's worth 500 coins, but I will check and see if that will work out for me. And I'm also looking for the kennels, which I think it's already out here. Yeah, it's already there. So, decisions. All right, so my turn. We're going to rotate service. So these guys will move over 1, and I have all these available ones now. We're going to move the round tracker. It is the village fair. I have not hosted the village fair planning activity, so I don't get anything from this village fair. I do probably want to do this before the next one though, so we'll see. Now, this particular strategy of not using the village fair was discussed with a good friend of mine. You know who you are, and so if this fails, it'll all be on you. So no pressure. All right, so now what do I want to host? I have these 3 lovely people ready and willing to dine and wine. The question is, what do I want to do and what do I have available? Now, one of my objectives is a servant bonus if I have 2 valets and 2 ladies' maids. So I might want to think about that. But I also probably want to get more cards in here. And I do want to maybe flip this in case during the courtship, that is the theme. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to go ahead and host this activity, and it requires the footman. So there we go, and the favor that I'm going to gain from this is to gain one of these prestigious guests cards, which I won't be able to use right away because the amount of reputation they require is going to be too high, but at least I'll have it in my hand, and hopefully it'll have some nice victory points on it as well. All right, so 2 gentry. I think I'm going to use, I'm going to use these 2. Okay, and the reason is they don't require any attendance, and the favors they give me are pretty good. All right, so we start, we go to the enjoy favors stage. First we get money, so I won't get the money, I'm going to get the reputation. So I can put this counter over here, and that gives me the ability to flip that, so now I'm at 2. And now I can either gain 2 casual guests and look at them and keep one, or I can dismiss a guest, which is what I want to do later with the lovely gossiper here that gives me negative points. Let's go ahead and gain 2 of these cards. We'll look at them and we'll keep one. All right. I definitely don't want more negative points, so I'm going to keep her. And it goes right into my hand. I can use her right away if I have the right activity. All right, now I get to buy from the market. I have 700, and you know what? I am going to go ahead and buy that kennel, and I'm hoping that the fenced paddock will remain in the market, so we'll see. So that this is 500 coins. I get 100 back, and I will get the hillside kennels, and I'm really building out my my sporting rooms here. All right, we're going to shift these, bring out a new one. Ooh, that's pretty high. Okay, now we're going to roll the bot. And a 12. Yep, okay, so the monument is still here. The 12 will get rid of position 2. Whew, that was close. All right, so it gets rid of the monument. And we'll slide these over, and we'll bring out another one. There we go. A lot of prestige there. Okay, so now we go to the next round. Oh, I forgot to bring these guys back. Sorry about that. All right, sorry about that. All right, so now we will rotate service. So the housekeeper goes here, and the footman goes there. The round tracker moves, and we are at the courtship round. In the courtship round, no activities are hosted. This is where, in the solo game, the way I'm playing it, we're going to reveal a theme card. So the theme is service. It's blue. So now I compare my victory points. Total victory points in the blue service rooms is 1, and the AI is 0 for this first season, which means I win the courtship. That's awesome. So I get a victory point card. I'll put it here. And I get to choose who I want to join me for this next season. Either, what's her name? Elizabeth Fairchild or Charles Fairchild. Elizabeth requires a lady's maid, and she gives me the ability to draw a prestigious guest, and also lets me move my reputation tracker twice. Charles lets me move my reputation tracker 3 times. So you know what? I think she's more valuable right now. So I'm going to take her into my hand. And this victory point card that I drew will give me either 4 victory points if I hang on to it to the end of the game, or, what is that? Little symbol there. There's a bunch of these player aids, which is nice. Refresh all servants. Move all servants on player board to available service. Okay, so at any point during the game, I can spend it to move everybody over to available service, which can come in handy if I have a big play and I have servants over here. All right, so that is the courtship round. Let's move on to the next round. We're going to go to round number 5. And I think I've been doing this wrong. I've been moving the round track as step number 2. And what this actually refers to is to just check the round track to see if there's an event this round. So because I did that during the courtship round, I already moved the servants over. So if I remember correctly, I did do that. So I'm not going to move them this round because I shouldn't have moved them here. So I'm not going to rotate service now because I've already done it. All right, let's move on. Now I get to host an activity. So what do I want to do here? Now I have these 2 ladies here that they both require a lady's maid. And the housekeeper actually can substitute as a lady's maid if one isn't available. So I could invite these two and use the housekeeper for one of them, but is it worth it right now? Let's see. Oh, one thing I do have to do in this round, if you notice, it says down here, begin service tile reserve. So what that means is I have to look at the builder's market, and if there's any service tiles here, which are these blue ones, I would gather them and I would put them right here in this market reserve. And then when it's time to buy, I can look through these tiles and buy them, but it gets the service tiles out of the way so that more tiles can come in. And then by the same token, once we get here to round number 9, I do the same thing with prestige level 1 tiles. That would get the lower numbers out of here, and I would put them here. And then I can continue buying from any of these spots. The nice thing is that the bot does not eliminate any tiles here in the market reserve. All right, so those are safe. So what do I want to do? Let's see. So let me take a check. Let me check here. So the bot season 2, 3, I'm still good there. I'm losing here. I'm tied there. I'm losing here. And I'm great here. Okay, so I'm going to try and focus my attention on these 4 colors this round. Hopefully it'll pay off. Oh, sorry. I keep forgetting. There's a lot of things going on. One thing that also happens during the courtship round is I have to get rid of one objective card. And since I'm trying to achieve these 2, I'm going to keep that. The English Garden is out here, so I could try that. You know what? I think I'm going to get rid of this one for now. Okay. So I'm going to get rid of that one. That leaves me with 4 victory, or 4 objective cards. And I will gain more in the next round. Okay, now, for real, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? I think I do want to keep increasing my reputation, so I'm going to host this activity in the front parlor. It requires it requires a housekeeper, which leaves me 1 lady's maid short, so I cannot do that. I think it's time to hire servants. So let's go ahead and host this activity. It requires a butler. Nobody gets invited to this. I just get to hire 2 servants from the supply. And let's go ahead and get a lady's maid, and we'll get a valet. And that will set me up for that objective, and they go right here in the expended service. Now, do I want to buy anything? I only have 300 coins. I do. The fence paddock is 400 minus 100, so that's 300 coins. Perfection. And that, let's see, does that complete this objective? The fence paddock, the stables, and the kennels. Yes, it does. All right. Awesome. Okay, so that goes there. I'm going to turn this one this way so that I don't accidentally get rid of it. All right, so that way I know I'm good there. So we're going to slide these over. As always, if you notice that I'm making any mistakes and I haven't caught them, go ahead and let me know in the comments. Also, while you're there, leave a like, and why not subscribe if you haven't done so already. All right. Still gain that English Garden. Hopefully I have enough money to do that. All right, let's bring everybody back. We'll move this here. We will put this one back and flip it. Okay, very cool. As you can see, my estate is growing. It's very, very nice right now. All right, we're gonna roll the bot, and it is a 12. There are no monuments out here, so I get to do this first. Column here, position 4. Ooh, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, I'm glad that English Garden is still there. All right, there we go. And again, if any service tiles come out, I do have to put them here. All right, let's go to the next round. And we're going to rotate service, so everybody moves once. I check the round track. It says objective card, so here I get 2 more objective cards. And I will get rid of 3 of them before the end of the game because there's 3 courtships left. And after each courtship, I have to get rid of 1 prestige card, if I can remember. All right, so what does this give us? This gives us a servant bonus of 7 victory points if I have 10 or more servants. This one's pretty easy to do, so I think I might keep that. And I also get a prestige bonus, 1 VP per tile of these purple prestige tiles. We'll see if I get to that or not. I might end up getting rid of that. We'll see. Okay, what do we want to do here? What do I want to do? I think I need money. So I wish I could host this, but again, I'm one Lady's Maid short, and I can't do a special action. Oh yeah, I can, but that would set me back on reputation. I don't think I want to do that. I'm going to get money because I want to get that English garden. Unfortunately, I have nothing that gives me, well, the most money I can make it on the activity is 300. I might sacrifice my reputation to get 100 so that I can get that English garden, because nothing here gives me money. All right, let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to host the pheasant hunt. I do need a footman to do that. Oh, but it's reputation level 3. You see? So I can't even do that because I don't have enough reputation. Okay. All right. This goes here. All right, so let's go ahead and do the riding stables then. The afternoon ride. I have a footman and requires I can't do that either. Requires a gentleman and a lady. All right, I wanted to do that one because I could at least flip that over. So let's go ahead and just host this Bowling Green activity, and requires a footman, which I will do that, and 2 gentries. So let's get these 2 ladies out here finally, and one requires a lady's maid, which I have to use, and if I don't have a lady's maid, I can use a housekeeper. So there we go. All right, so now we're gonna enjoy favors. I do get 200 coins. There we go. And let's see, she gets me a total of a 3 on the reputation track. So 1, 2, 3. And she gets me a casual guest, and she gets me a prestigious guest. So I get 1 card here and 1 card here. All right, so I can't use her until I have a reputation of 5, but I can use him. Now, as I've been inviting guests and hosting activities, the guests get discarded. I can get them back if I decide to pass, and I haven't done it yet because I've been able to play these cards. And you kind of want to time your passes correctly, because it does take up an entire turn, which means you don't host anything and you don't gain any favors when you pass, but you do get other advantages, which we'll go through. All right, so now I get to buy from market. I really want to pick up that English garden, and you know what? But I'm not. I'm going to show restraint, and hopefully the bot doesn't make me pay for that. All right, so I'm not going to buy anything. I'm going to go ahead and clear the board. This will come back. Again, it doesn't flip. And these go here to expended service. All right, and now the bot rolls, and I'm hoping not to get 5 through 7. Ah, good, a 12. So 12 gets rid of position 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That one is gone. So far, so good. There's a service tile, so that one goes there. And there we go. All right, we are on to round 7, and we're going to rotate service here. There we go. Check the round track. There's nothing going on in round 7. I have available staff, so I might be able to host something now. I still want that English card in. All right, let's see here. All right, I think this is the time to go ahead and host the village fair planning. Oh, but it requires 2 family members. Ugh. I'm gonna miss out on it. Rats. I'm gonna miss out on it because I don't have 2 family members. I have 1 family member. And if I pass right now, the next round is the courtship round, which I can't do anything. Man, that is terrible planning. So don't do the same mistakes I just made. In that case, then, we are going to... Let's go ahead and host this event, or this activity, in the fenced paddock. Admire the horses. And I can't because I don't have a footman. Ugh. Ay. Okay. This might be a good time to pass. All right, so let's take a look at the cheat sheet here for passing. There we go. So I'm going to move all servants to available services. I'm going to reclaim my deck, come back here. There are a lot of people here now. So I'm going to put that one in the back because I can't use her just yet. Let me try to arrange this in a way that makes sense here for me. Miss Fairchild is still with us. All right. This is the family. And then these are the level 1 people. Okay, Miss Fairchild will go right there. Look at that. Awesome. Game Tamer. Awesome card stand. All right, reclaim my deck. Now observe the round track. There's nothing there. And monuments and servants hall. So I have nothing. And now I can either collect $200 or 200 coin or refresh the builder's market. I don't want to refresh the builder's market because the English garden is still there. I'm actually going to get 200 coin. That'll give me just enough to buy the builder's market, assuming it is still there. And actually, the last step in the passing flowchart is to go shopping. So guess what I'm going to buy? I'm going to buy the English market. Ta-da! Just how I planned it. And that will complete this objective, which again, I will turn on its side so that I know it's completed. All right, we're going to rotate here. Okay, there we go. Perfect. Awesome. Okay, so that's my turn. Now we go with the bot. 11. 11 is position number 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, we slide these over. Now I'm not too worried about what the bot does with the market anymore. Well, I am, but not as far as completing objectives. Now we go to the next round, and it is the courtship round. So we reveal the theme for this round. And it is the purple, of course, the one that I am really stinking at. Okay, so I got to return Miss Fairchild over here because every beginning of every courtship round she goes back, and if I end up winning, I can pick one of the 2 to come back with me. But I'm definitely not winning this because the bot has a score of 3 and I have a score of -2 for that particular theme. So the bot gets a victory point card face down. I don't know what it is. Whatever points are on here will get added to that at the end of the game. So that is the end of season 2, and we go to the beginning of season 3. Beginning of this season, we are going to look for any level 1 tiles and put them here in the reserve. That's the only one. And this one comes out. All right, and the village fair takes place. Absolutely nothing for me because I planned it. I didn't plan it, actually. I didn't plan it well. Okay, we rotate service. Everybody's fresh and ready to go. Now let's see what activity I want to host. Now, these themes, there are 2 theme cards for each color. So they could repeat, which means I'm not off the hook with this purple one. Let's check what the 3rd season looks like. I'm losing there. I'm tied there. Winning there. Really behind there. And I'm losing here. So I think I do want to definitely gain more reputation. So I can finally host this event with the housekeeper. And it requires 2 ladies. So if my goal is to raise my reputation, let's see, who would be good here? The Dowager is always good for that, at least once. And I do want to get some money. But is there a lady that gives me money? Not that one. Oh, she does. Yeah, okay. So we will invite these 2 guests. And again, I still want to get rid of her. But for now... Okay, so she requires a lady's maid. She requires nothing. I do get 3 reputation plus 1 minus 2. So 4, so I get 2. 1, 2, and then I'm up to level 3 now. And I do get 500 coins. Okay, that wasn't too bad. Now, do we want to buy anything? Let's see. Oh, I did have to get rid. I always forget to do this. I do have to get rid of 1 objective card during the courtship round. So I am going to get rid of this one. Okay. Very cool. Now, what do I want to buy? I do want to get my victory points up. I'm so far behind here, though, that I don't know if it's worth it. So, but I do want to be able to gain more reputation. So you know what? I am going to spend 400 and get that drawing room. Now I'm going to put it right here. All right, very cool. And then we're going to slide this over. Okay, and then we clear the board. So this goes back, these 2 get discarded. And young lady, I'm still going to dismiss you at some point. These come back, or this comes back. There we go. Ooh, I'm up to 4. I need 11 in order to be safe there. So we'll see. All right, here comes the bot. He rolls a 15. 15 is position number 6, so this one goes out. And we draw a new one. Oh, a lot of prestige. Look at that one. That one's nice. But I still need more reputation if I want to use that one. Okay, we go on to round number 10. So we're going to rotate service. There's nothing going on in the track. And I have no monuments. Monuments are great because they score you a lot of points, but they're expensive. Okay, now what do I want to do? Ooh, I can finally host the pheasant hunt. I think I'm going to do that. Okay, it requires a footman, and it requires 3 gentries, So why don't we, the builder's holiday's coming up. So I might want to stack up on some money. Let's see if it's if I can do anything with it. So I'm going to invite him. 3 of them, huh? That's cool. And I still can't invite that one because of the low reputation. Let's go and invite him as well. He'll give me some more money. And we'll invite her. Why not? That way I can get another card, and it'll give me at least one more slot on that reputation wheel. So let's get the money first. That's 300, 500, 700. 700 coin. Gives me a total of 800 for now. And I will get a card. Oh, another negative. Another, oh man. Let's see the flavor text on this one. Miss Elizabeth Jones, adventurous. Elizabeth's flirtatiousness causes embarrassment, but she is the Earl of Highcrest's niece. Okay, so she's a flirt. And then once on the reputation track. Okay, so I've got a lot of money here. Do I want to buy anything, or do I want to hold out for the builder's holiday? I think I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait and see if I could spend a lot of money next round. All right, so everybody comes back. This one flips over, and you know, that's cool because -1 victory point turns into 4 victory points. Okay, this one, these I discard, and let's roll the bot. A 10. A 10 means position number 3, so that one is gone. And we move on to round 11. We rotate our service staff. There we go. And it's a builder's holiday. So when it comes time to buy from the builder's market, I can buy as much as I can afford. You know, I'm not restricted to just one tile. So let's see if there's any way to get more money between now and then. I probably want to start thinking of getting rid of these, dismissing some of these guests, but let's give them one more chance. All right, I can go ahead and use the drawing room now that I wanted to use before so I can gain more reputation. I'm really ignoring this section over here. I might end up paying for it, so we'll see. All right, I do need a butler to do that. And let's see, 3 gentries. So let's invite him. We will invite her, and we will invite him. Okay, so now he does need a valet, so I will put a valet there. And now we gain favors. We shall gain 3 reputation points there. So 1, 2, 3. And let's go ahead and, yeah, let's just take the reputation there. So that brings me up to 4. Okay. And I can take 2 casual guest cards here, extending my turn a little bit, hopefully, my round, sorry. And now here, I'm going to go ahead and get rid of Miss Flirtatious, okay? So she is going to get dismissed. That's what this icon down here is. I can dismiss a guest. All right, so those negative points are not going to count against me. I still have one here, Miss Gossip over here. Okay, so now I have 800 coins to spend. What do I want to do? I could get this butler's pantry, which gains me an under butler. That's the only way to get an under butler. It would cost 400. And then I still have another 400 that I can spend on either the riding stables, or I could, you know, I could finally, you know what, I think I'm going to do that. Okay, so I'm going to spend 400 plus 300, 700. Okay, 700. And I will get this Heritage Guest Suite, which will go here. And I will get the Butler's Pantry, which will go here, and gets me an under butler. Awesome. Now this is going to move. Okay, cool. We're going to clear the board. This goes here. This guy goes here. We discard these cards. All right. I feel pretty good about how this is going. Again, we flip this. All right. I feel pretty good. Now, whether that feeling is legit or not, we'll see. But I feel pretty good. All right. Now we're going to roll. 17. 17 means no purchase. So nothing gets moved this round from the bot. But the next time I roll, I have to subtract 5 from the roll. That's what the rule says. If there's no purchase, the next turn, I have to subtract 5. All right, and guess what? We are on to round number 12, which is a courtship round. Woohoo! All right, let's see what the theme for this round is, and it is the sporting theme. Yes, that's good, because I have 6 minus 1 is 5. Well, it's not great, actually. I thought I was going to win, but the bot also has 5. It's season 3, which means I get a victory point card, and the bot gets a victory point card, and neither of us gets to invite one of the Fairchilds over for tea. Now I do have to discard a objective card, so I actually did complete this as well. So it's either that one or that one. How many do I have? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If I do one more higher, I can get that. Or I can keep this one, which is 1 VP for every 3 guests. I think I'm going to discard this one, and I'm going to try to complete that one. All right, on to round number 13. All right, round number 13, we are going to refresh our servants. And what do I want to do? What do I want to do? I'm at 4 reputation. Could have probably done better at getting some more prestigious guests, because I'm stuck with these, you know, casual, non-important guests. But let's see, for round 4, now for season 4, when the theme card comes out, the final courtship, we're going to score, we have to add up the points for each theme, for each color. So it's not just the one color that comes out. We got to add up all the colors that have come out before it and the one that comes out. Hope that makes sense. And we got to, you know, check that with the bot here. So hopefully the purple doesn't come out again, because I'm way behind on the purple. That being said, I think I should get more prestige rooms in here, but I'm short on money. So let's see what we do. This might be a round that I can pass on, actually. Because these guests, I can't bring her in. These guests don't look very appealing to me. So you know what? Time to pass. So I'm going to refresh service. Everybody becomes available. I reclaim the deck. So let me, I'll put these in order in a second here. Round track event, there isn't. So either collect 200 or refresh the market. I'm going to collect 200. And I can shop. I don't have enough money for anything other than the riding stables. But I don't think I want to spend the money on that right now. Okay, so then the bot goes. And it is a 6 minus 5, so it's a 1. I take position 1 out. Refill this. There we go. All right, let me try to put these in some sort of order here. So again, the family, we'll try to keep them together. Level 1s here, family, level 1, and family. All right, now it's getting real crowded. Okay, so now we go to the next round. And this is a national holiday. National holiday means I can invite any guests to any activity. I can host any activity which is beyond my reputation. Okay, so this is a good way of bringing this young lady in here, which she's very high class because she's a level 5. All right, so let's see what I want to do. In that case, that is a perfect time to host this drawing room activity. Receive visitors. I do need a butler, so I'm going to put a butler there. And forage entry, so I'm definitely bringing her in. And definitely bringing her so I can get more money. Let's see. What else? Who else can I bring in? Who else can I bring in? I think I'm going to bring in her so that I can get rid of her. How many do I bring in? 4. And this one gives me more money. Or do I want to get more prestigious guests in here? Oh, she does. Okay. All right. This is good. Actually, I don't think I can dismiss a guest that I'm playing with here. I could be wrong. So I'm going to save her for another turn, and I'm going to go ahead and bring the dowager in. Okay. Perfect. Oh, I need a lady's maid here. I need a lady's maid here, and I need a valet here. All right, so let's get the favors. Let's start with the money. That's 500, 700. All right, I'm rolling in money now. That's 700. Then we move on to the reputation. So that's 3, 6, 7, minus 2. So 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Perfect. That gets me to level 5 reputation. And now we take any cards. So this one will give me a prestigious guest, level 3. Okay, so I can use her. Awesome. And that's it. All right? Yep. Okay. Now, do I want to buy anything? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 1,000. Wow. 1,000. This is great. Yeah, I think I'm going to buy the Cabinet of Curiosities. So for 500, I will buy the Cabinet of Curiosities, which will give me 4 points on that side and 7 on that side. Okay. All right, we'll do that. So nearing the end of the game, I finally have a lot of reputation. This goes here because it's a service tile. There we go. All right. So we'll clear the board. This goes here. This comes back. These servants go back to expended services. The cards get discarded. And the bot will go. It is a 6. No, it is a 9. So position 3 goes away. There's a monument out. All right. Now we go on to the final round where an activity can be hosted, which is 15. Okay, we're going to move this over. So let me think carefully here what I want to do. What do I want to do? What do I want to do? All right, I'm going to host the cabinet, enter the cabinet of curiosities, the one I just got. Okay, and it requires a footman. I need 2 gentries, so I'm definitely going to use her now so that I can dismiss the gossiper. And I'm going to use her as well. Okay, it's 2 gentries. Okay, perfect. She requires a lady's maid. There isn't one available, so I can use the housekeeper. And now the reward, I do get 400 coins. So 500, reward of 1. Let's get 6 turns on this reputation wheel here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I've reached level 6. Awesome. And now I will dismiss this guest using the power of that card. So bye-bye. You have served your purpose. And now for my final purchase. 5, 6, 7, 8, 900. Oh, I don't have enough for the monument. That would have been sweet. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 9. Is it worth going down reputation to get that? 9. I would need 3, which means I would have to lose 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to do that. So I'm going to finally use a special action. Okay. I need 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I need 300 coin to get that monument. So I have to go down 6. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which brings me down to 5 reputation. Okay, so I will lose a few points there, but I can now buy the monument, the sculpture garden monument. And that gives me a big 10 points, which hopefully is more than the difference between reputation level 5 and 6. Is it? Let me see. Oh, what's done is done, but I should have looked this up before. 5 and 6. It is. So it's a 6-point difference between 5 and 6. So I actually netted 4 points here, if my math is correct. All right, so now I clear the board. This actually flips, and I gain more points by flipping it. So that's cool. Power move at the end. We'll see if it pays off. All right, not that it matters, but here we go. Number 2 for the bot. Position 1 is gone. And I say not that it matters because this was the final round. I should have refilled that before I moved it. So I'll just put, that's a service. That's a service. So I'll just put this here and this here. Again, it doesn't matter because we're not going to buy from the market anymore. Okay, so we go to the final courtship. So now we reveal here, and it's another green. Okay, so now I have to add, let's go with the calculator. So I have to add, for the final season, the blue, so that's 2, plus the purple, that's 14, and the green twice, that's 10. A total of 26 for the AI, 26, and then for me, it's the blues is 3, plus the purples are 9, 14, and the green twice, 12. 29. Whoa. I think I got that right. I'm going to do it once again off camera just to be sure, just to be certain. So I'm going to cut this out. All right, so I did make a mistake with mine, but mine is 27 points and the AI is 26 points. Wow. So I win the courtship by 1 point. So because I got Miss Fairchild last time, I will get Mr. Fairchild now, which only matters for the victory points for the final scoring. Wow, that's so cool. I'm excited. This turned out really well. And I do get a victory point card. All right, and now we go to the final scoring. So the final scoring will happen this way, and I feel really good about this, which means I'm probably going to lose. Okay, so we have our handy dandy little notepad here, and I'm going to put my initials right here. And for the bot, let's see what the bot's final score is. It's going to be 95 plus 8. So what is that? 95 plus 8 is 99. 103. All right, so I'm going to write 103 here. I think I can beat 103. Yeah, okay, so that's the final score for the bot. Now for me, let's go. All right, improvement tiles, VP. So I got to add all these. So that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, minus 2 is 7, plus 2 is 9, 19, 21, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 35, minus 1, 34, 38. All right. Now the Gentry VPs. So I've got to get all my cards here that have victory points and add those up. So I'm just going to put the zeros here. And Mr. Fairchild looking real good. All right. Here we go. So we have 8, 10, 12. I'm looking at the upper right-hand corner again. 10, 12, 13, plus 4 is 17, 18, 19, 22, 24. So 24. The subtotal here is 62, 38 plus 24. Okay, objective and milestone VP. So I did get all of these, right? I did get 5 points for having the English garden. I got 5 points for having 2 valets and 2 ladies' maids. I got 12 points for having the fenced paddock along with the kennels and the riding stables. And did I get this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I did not get this. Oh, I'm actually was supposed to get rid of one during the final courtship. So this is the one I'm going to get rid of. There we go. So in the end, I actually scored 3 objective cards. So that gives me 12 plus 10, 22 points. Wow. Wow. Okay, 22 points right here. And then reputation VPs. So I got a reputation of 5. That's going to score me 15 points. So 37. Then I get 2 points for each servant. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 servants for a total of 16 points. 1 point for every 200 coins. I have nothing left. So that's 16. And then our courtship cards, I got 7, 10 points there. All right, and the grand total is 62 plus 37 plus 16 plus 10. Oops, sorry. 62 plus 37 plus 16 plus 10. 125. Woo-wee. 125. So final score. There we go. Final score 125 and the bot 103. What can I say? I don't usually do this well, and I'm surprised I actually beat an intermediate bot. Now the solo game is not super tough, but if you've seen any of my previous playthroughs, I don't usually win. So I'm really glad I won at Obsession. Not much to say about this game other than it is great. I love this game. It is very popular for a reason. Also, Dan, the designer and publisher of the game, is extremely nice and super responsive if you have any questions on the game. There are some expansions to this game which make it, even better. that's not to say anything about the base game. The base game has tons of content. I could, you know, wipe this out, start over, and it would be a whole different ball game because of the different rooms and whatnot. So if you get a chance to get your hands on Obsession, and I say if because once you know, whatever the current print run runs out, usually have to wait quite a few months for another batch to pop up. But if you get a chance to buy Obsession, don't hesitate to pick it up because you're going to regret it. You're going to see it on the shelf, or you're going to see it on the website, and you're going to, you know, you're going to skip on it, and then you're going to regret it. Trust me. So just pick it up. Do yourself a favor and pick it up. All right, that's Obsession. Hopefully this playthrough has given you a good idea of how the game plays. If you have any questions, please leave them down below. Leave a comment, leave a like, subscribe, and let's see what we play next. All right. If you have any suggestions, also please leave them down below in the comments. Otherwise, that's it for now. We'll see you in the next one.